Hello again. Now we turn to Deuteronomy, which means the second law. It's like a retelling of Exodus. However, it was written later, probably the book that King Josiah discovered in the temple in the 7th century. So it was 100 to 200 years later. And it's got a vastly different tone. It's kind of like a retelling, somewhat akin to how John, the Gospel of John, is so different and, so to speak, is a retelling of what's going on in the 3 synoptic Gospels. So it is with Deuteronomy. The word heart appears 34 times in the 36 chapters. It's all about the heart. So there's a change in an emphasis, and it's about the heart. And this is where we get the great commandment we're going to read in a minute from Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4 and on, to love the Lord your God with all your heart. Now love is writ large. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. Now all at once it comes kind of out of nowhere that what God wants is your heart, all of your heart, to love. Where is that in the 10 Commandments in Exodus? It's not. Okay. So you get in the 6th chapter, from the beginning at verse 4, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, which becomes the creedal statement, is Shema in Hebrew. Hear, listen, our God is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and all your might. Keep these words that I'm reciting to you today in your heart. Recite them to your children. This is really a pep talk. The whole of Deuteronomy is a pep talk. You either have blessings promised or curses. Choose this day whom you're going to serve. Oh, do this, and God's going to love you, and it's going to be beautiful. Do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not going to go good. Do this. Choose. And you can choose, and you can get it right. What you need to do is to love the Lord your God with all your... I don't even know what that means. Jesus quotes this, of course. Well, with all your heart means all you have. With all your soul, all you are. With all your might, all that you can do. It's beautiful. That is the beginning of the great promise. And we see later on in the 10th chapter, So now, O Israel, what does the Lord require of you? Only to fear the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, to love him and serve the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and the beautiful, just everything. Hold nothing back. God wants it all. And keep the commandments of the Lord your God and his decrees that I'm commanding you today for your own well-being. Although heaven and the heaven of heavens belong to the Lord your God, the earth and all that is in it, yet the Lord set his heart in love with your ancestors alone, and chose you, their descendants after them, out of all the peoples as it is today. Circumcise then the foreskin of your heart, and do not be stubborn any longer. Yeah, the people are stubborn. The hearts are stubborn. That's there in Deuteronomy. But there's one more angle that I want to share with you in the next segment.